a movie that hides behind its style to cover up its flaws. The advertising lied about how this film would actually be. Every trailer screamed high-octane, action-packed thrill ride of revenge with Furiosa at the helm. And while that's sorta true, it's really not the case for most of the movie. The first hour of this film is actually Furiosa just as a child. You heard that right, we don't get Anya Taylor-Joy until about an hour into this movie. While the beginning is pretty entertaining, seeing how badass Charlie Fraser's character is, Furiosa's backstory as a child should have been 30 minutes at the most. Once we get Furiosa as an adult, she's pretty silent for most of the film. There's a convoy scene where the truck gets attacked, and while it's a decent action scene, it's just lacking that oomph that just gets me excited for scenes like this. It just kind of felt thrown in and just didn't really hold much weight, to be honest. We also get a new character named Praetorian Jack, who's apparently a really good driver. I honestly wish we got to know more about him because he seemed like a pretty interesting character. But during most of the scenes with Jack and Furiosa, they're pretty silent. And it's like this for most of the movie. Even with scenes when they are together, they don't really talk much. So I never really bought into their whole bonding that they have during the film. We could just learn so much more about their characters and their personalities, but no, they just decided not to have these characters talk much. Surprisingly enough, Chris Hemsworth, who plays Dementus, is one of the best characters in this movie. I love how charismatic his character is and how he acts like this one big showman. Every time he's on screen, he is bigger than life. The story isn't anything crazy, but it leaves a lot to be desired in my opinion. Furiosa gets her life stolen from her, coming from a place of green, gets kidnapped by Dementus until she's traded off to Immortan Joe. She obviously wants to get revenge of what happened to her, but it doesn't really seem like it's really on her mind until about 2/3 away into the film when she finally sees Dementus when she's fully grown and she's like, oh yeah, I want revenge against you. I also don't really understand why we get two random TikTokers in this movie with Quaden Bales and Sean Millis. The only reason I mention this is they are in a lot of the promos for this movie, and both their characters get quite a bit of screen time randomly, even though their characters don't really matter to this movie. This film also likes to remind us of Fury Road, showing us some like flash forwards from that film, and it's like, yep, we know that movie's a lot better than this one. That being said, there are things I definitely do like about this movie. The cinematography, like always, is wonderful. The overly stylized, polished look is actually pretty enjoyable. There are some spectacular shots in this that look really awesome. Some of the action is pretty good in this as well, especially with a lot of the scenes with Furiosa. And I really do think Anya Taylor-Joy does play a pretty good young Furiosa. But like I mentioned, Chris really does steal the show in this. While this movie does have its entertaining moments, I feel like the story and pacing could have been a lot better. I just wish it could match Fury Road, but I just think it falls short. That's why I give Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, a 7.5 out of 10. If you guys like this review, hit that like button. If you guys want to see more, hit that follow button. And as always, thanks for watching.